welcome to our talk show, Meiosis Madness. We have some very special guests coming in today, and they're going to show us how they relate to each other. First, Meiosis 1. Prophase 1. The nuclear membrane will disintegrate. The chromosomes will coil and duplicate. The chromosomes are tightly coiled and organized chromatin, which are a combo of DNA and proteins. So the chromatin is like unorganized spaghetti, and the chromosomes are spaghetti out of 4. After the chromosomes duplicate, identical chromosomes become attached at the center, forming a chromatid pair. The place where the chromosomes are attached is called the centromere. The centrioles will move to opposite ends of the cell. The centrioles are represented by Jen and Eden, and are in charge of the spindle fibers. The spindle fibers form and start to stretch across the cell. Now it's time for metaphase 1. One chromatid lines up to another chromatid, each attached to a different set of spindle fibers. The spindle fibers are connections that help break apart chromatids and chromosomes. These aligned chromatid pairs are called homologous chromatid pairs. When the two chromatids line up, they line up in what is called independent assortment. This means that a chromatid with a mother's DNA could align with a father chromatid, creating a random alignment. Now it's time for anaphase 1. Now the homologous chromatid pairs, the double X's, separate as the spindle fibers shorten. However, the individual chromatids do not. In other words, the X's stay intact. Now it's time for telophase 1. The cell will now divide in 2. Each new cell contains one chromatid from each homologous pair. Now, let's move on to meiosis 2. Prophase 2. So what happens now happens in both of the new cells in part 1 of meiosis, but our actors here are only going to show it happening in one cell. Spindle fibers form and centrioles move to the ends of the cell. Again, the nuclear membrane disintegrates. Metaphase 2. The chromatid pairs move into the center of the cell and the spindle fibers attach to them. Anaphase 2. Now the spindle fibers shorten and the chromatids separate into individual chromosomes. So in other words, the X breaks apart into 2 lines. Telophase 2. Both cells formed in meiosis 1 split in half, creating 4 cells. Each cell has a chromosome from each chromosome pair, so half of all the X's. The division of cytoplasm, or cytokinesis, happens. The results are 4 sex cells form. Each cell is a haploid. Haploid cells have only one set of chromosomes, so they have 23 chromosomes. Diploid cells have 2 sets of chromosomes, 2 copies of each chromosome. That's 46 chromosomes. That was Meiosis Madness, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, and good night.